over. Okay, so the few announcements that I have, first one is May Challenge Pack promotions. This is FAQ 8932. So for the entire month of May, any Challenge Pack or Completion Pack purchase will come with early access to the new 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme workouts, which will pop up in our BOD library May 31st for those that did not get early access to those workout programs. Second announcement is $20 off all Ultimate Portion Fix Challenge Packs and $10 off the kits. That's FAQ 3564. Invitation to the Success Club Tailgate Party at Coach Summit and the Diamond Leadership Party at Coach Summit is FAQ 3442. Success Club Party, I believe, is hitting Success Club 10 this month, April, so you have until the end of the day tomorrow, and Success Club 10 in May, and you'll get invited to the Success Club Tailgate Party at Summit. And then the Diamond Leadership Party, FAQ 1593, I believe that is, you have to be one of the top 500 leadership point earners in April and May combined, and you have to be a paid rank of Diamond or above. Let's see what else. Apparel warehouse sale, 50% off on tons of styles. General registration for Summit opens up on May 6th, unless you have access to the early registration, which I believe for some was today, and others will be on, I think, Thursday, May 2nd. Launch of Beachbody Performance Plant-Based Chocolate Recover. I know lots of us are super pumped about this one. That's FAQ 8948, and that will launch on May 20th. And on May 29th, we have the launch of Beachbody Performance Whey Chocolate Packets. Those will come in packs of 18, and that's FAQ 8954. Okay, enough with all of that fun stuff. I'm going to pass the mic over to our guest speaker, Joel. So, of course, co-creator of Core de Force, creator of Lift 4. He has some really cool cats and a really pretty wife. And I saw on, if you follow Joel, you'll know that he does these coach calls all the time. And so I saw on his Instagram stories one day, he just put a little tag on there and said, if you want me on your team call, any coaches want me on your team call, all you got to do is ask. And so Mallory and I, one of my coaches, were talking back and forth, and I was like, I think I'm just going to ask him. And I asked him, and he responded within like 5 minutes. And here he is. So we are so thankful that you're here. And I want to, before I pass the mic over really quick, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, anything that you want Joel to know, pop them in the chat box and we'll be sure to get all of those answered and addressed. So I guess I'll just pass the mic over to you and we can go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Beth, and thanks for having me on. And also, I think Betsy's on as well, because I was going to do her coach call right before your guys's, and you guys teamed up together, so that's awesome. So thank you for doing that. But hey, look, this is your call, so I'm here for you guys. So in passing the mic to me, I'm like, I don't know what to say. So if you have questions, cool. All I know is that I see like a bunch of coaches on here with their dogs in the picture, and that's awesome. Like you got, I don't know, who's this? You got Paige over here, and you got Farrell with the dog. Like that's cool, but can we get a cat up in here? Come on, guys. I mean, I like dogs, but come on, let's get a kitty cat going on. So anyway, Beth, seriously, if you have, I mean, I'm sure you have some questions and all that stuff. So look, I'm here for you guys.
Awesome. Well, we will just open up the floor. Anybody want to start throwing some questions in the chat, or just unmute yourself and ask a question? We always joke around on my personally sponsored team calls that if your video is not on, we're going to assume that you're naked. So turn your video on, unmute your mic, and ask some questions. I guess I'll
you could be naked from the waist down and still be okay. I mean, I might be. You don't know.
Yeah, there you go. No judgment over here.
Oh, I see a cat. Now I'm happy. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ashlyn, for getting your cat. Oh, I can see a couple cats. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. That's the power of social media and the power of the coaching network, is we can get cats involved in these calls. Okay, sorry, Beth, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just going to kind of kickstart with the questions by asking, so I promote Lift 4 to lots of my brand new challengers, like challengers who or customers who come to me and maybe they haven't worked out in a while, or they're on a postpartum fitness journey. It seems to be the main kind of bulk of the audience that I've been connecting with now, since I'm on a postpartum journey as well. And the one kind of main concern that I have trouble really kind of reiterating to them is the fact that it's only, that Lift 4 specifically is only 4 days a week. no matter how much I tell them, like how incredible the program is or how great my results were from it, or my husband who's on his 4th round of Lift 4, I have a hard time getting them to like really see the value in the program. So do you have like any kind of suggestions or ways that we can make sure that we're really conveying the quality of the program of Lift 4 with it just being 4 days a week?
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about the fact that they don't feel that that's enough? They're scared that's not going to be enough? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and look, so look, 4 days is it's a new mindset, right? It's definitely something different. Everything that we have done up until really with Lift 4 has, for the most part, been at least 5 days and 6 or even 7. I mean, we did Core de Force. Core de Force is a 7-day-a-week program. One day is a active recovery, but we're still having you do something every single day. And typically, and that's pretty typical with a home workout program or any program in general, because it's one, how the program is put together, and then two, in terms of length of time and how many weeks the program is, how many days. So like Core de Force was a 30-day shredding program. We got to get you doing something for 30 days, like almost every single day, because we have a finite amount of time to get the results and that we promise, or obviously give you the best possible results that we can. So I get it; it's a whole different mentality, but this is the mindset of the design of Lift 4 came from my years in the fitness industry. I've been in health and fitness in the business side of it since I was 19. So I'm going on, say I'm 36 now, do the math. And I've been around there for a while, and I know the business of this. And what I mean by that is I've sold memberships, I've sold personal training, I've been in the gym world, and I've worked for Washington State Department of Health. I've seen the private side, the public side. I've seen all the sides of it. And it's this fact that we're still having the same conversations, right, with people. All these years later, we're still talking about, we still hear the same excuses. I don't have enough time to work out. My life gets in the way. My job is too busy. I get up too early. Like all these barriers that people have to starting or sticking with the health and fitness plan. It's the same shit. Like we're hearing the same thing all the time. So that's where Lift 4 design came from, was saying, okay, look, let's go after these barriers and let's just get rid of them. So people who say, I don't have enough time to work out. Yes, you do. It's 2.5 hours total a week of 4 days a week, 30 to 40 minutes. That's 2.5 hours total a week. And I guarantee you they spend more time on social media now. I promise you they do that. So it's like, so we're going after all those barriers. And the way to think about it is to really go after the design of the program, is to really help them understand. And this is where the 2-week trial of Beachbody On Demand really works for you in your favor, of getting them into it and just saying, look, just try it for a week or just try it for 2 weeks. It's free. You're not going to have to pay anything for it. And do that so they can actually see. And typically, especially if they haven't done Lift 4, and I think all of you guys can vouch for this, typically pretty much after that first day of chest and triceps, 50-50 style, you're like, ooh, my arms are noodles. I can't use them. And then like, I can't breathe in the hip part. So they'll find out very, very quickly, even if if they don't want to do the bod aspect of it, the 2 weeks, they can also do the free workout on Beachbody On Demand. It's in the Lift 4 banner. You even have to be a member to try that. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but it really comes down to helping them understand that this is all about flexibility. This program is designed specifically with flexibility in mind. It's not meant for you to have to mold your life around. This program molds around your life. That's why I was so excited to do it and put it together. And Carl and I were on the same page with this whole thing because it was just amazing. Like we knew that we had something, and I think we nailed the formula. So it really comes down to just helping people understand that like it's not like they're not trying to fit this into their life. It's the other way around.
Yeah, I love that. We got a really awesome question in the chat box. Are you coming out with a new program in the near future?
Sure, we all are.
Awesome.
Come on, you guys know I can't tell you. Everyone knows I can't tell specifics. Look, all of us are always working on something or another. So yeah, we're always working on stuff.
Awesome.
I have a question about specifically, I guess, trying to show the value to men.
Okay.
A lot of my challengers are women, as you see from all the women on this podcast as well too. So like, do you have any tips to like specifically show the value of these programs to men?
Yeah, men are, we're difficult creatures and kind of stubborn. So, once we have preconceived notions in our head, then it's I mean, actually, that's just human nature when it comes to men and women about preconceived notions. And, women have preconceived notions about lifting and that it's going to make them bulky. And then men have preconceived notions about home workouts that they're all for women. So it's definitely, so you're kind of it's a little bit of an uphill battle when it comes to preconceived notions, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that it really comes down to kind of what I said a minute ago too, is you just got to get them to try it. That's really what it comes down to. And what I always, so if I get messages from wives or girlfriends like, hey, I really want to try to get my husband or boyfriend to try this. How can I do it? I'm like, just call them out. Tell them I called them out and just say, look, Joel says you're a sissy if you don't try at least one workout. Like sometimes you just got to call them out and say, look, you're talking a lot of smack about it. Why not just try it? What's the worst thing that could happen? You might sweat a little bit and you might be sore. And if you do it for a couple of weeks, you might lose a little bit of weight. Like, what's the worst that could happen? So I always just say, like, call them out and, and challenge them on, especially with Lift 4. Like I can't speak for anything else except for quarter force and Lift 4, but I am confident that anybody who does Lift 4 will know very quickly that it hurts in a good way.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. Just to kind of piggyback off of that, my husband I've been a coach for about 3 years. The first full 2 years that I was a coach, he swore that at-home workout programs were just not his jam. They wouldn't work for him. It's like a girl thing, whatever. Lift 4 comes out, and I convinced him to do Lift 50-50. Lift 50-50 or leg day. If you can convince a significant other or a spouse to do one of those, they quickly change their minds as to the fact that this program works.
Yeah, and I think and with that, I think we did a really good job of creating a program that dudes would do and be interested in. And I think that was a big thing. When we did, if you kind of look at our trainer team, especially, we haven't had really anything this style weightlifting in a long time, and P90X might have been, one of the originals, but like I feel like we've kind of been lacking that dude feel a little bit. And look, I'm as dude as it comes. And, a lot of the stuff that we've put out in Beachbody On Demand, I wouldn't do as a guy. That's just me. That's just as a guy thing. I'm not going to do that. And so I think it was really important to create a program that dudes would do, and knowing that women would do it too, but because look, if we create something for guys, women will do it. If we create something for women, men won't do it. Right. So it wasn't the fact that, it wasn't like I wasn't geared towards men, but it was just like, look, we got to create something that isn't going to scare them away. And that's why, it was just really, I was just really cognizant of that going into it, and how the look and feel of the program was, and design, and just, making sure, that's why it was like a little bit darker in colors and things like that. It was just cool. Everyone was on the same page, and I think we nailed that.
I have a question. How does your nutrition change on your days that you're not working out?
How does my nutrition change on the days I'm not working out? It really doesn't a whole lot. From the food standpoint, if I don't work out though, I don't usually do like my recover shake. But sometimes I'll still keep up with my recharge and stuff like that. So it doesn't change a whole lot, because I definitely try to maintain consistency in especially my protein intake every single day. So I'm really always focused on that. But aside from that, it doesn't change a whole lot, because one day I'm not too worried about it. If it's multiple days, then I might, decrease my caloric intake a little bit. But other than that, I'm an eating machine. So I just like to eat and keep going on that.
I have a question in the chat. Can we get certified to teach Lift?
Oh, here it is. I guess I can look at the chat myself since it's right there. Sorry. Can you get certified to teach Lift 4? No, there's no actual Lift 4 certification program through Beachbody Live or anything like that. But I will say, if you are interested in teaching anything related to Lift 4, then you should go get your personal training certification, and you'll find that it's all in there. It's just basic stuff. Lift 4 is as basic as it comes. I was really excited to go back to basics with this. Hypertrophy training, you'll learn all about that in your manual, and putting a program to it. It's basically what I did. So I tell anybody, if you want to, especially when it comes to weightlifting, you got to go through a full personal training certification to really understand the mechanics of it. But no, there's no plans to make Lift 4 a group exercise program. No, thank you. We already did that with quarter force.
Joel, I have a question for you. First of all, it's just a props. So my background is in health and wellness too, and I work in physical therapy.
Okay.
And your program, like the cues, the technique, all of your jam with the form was like speaking my language. So first of all, thank you for that because it was phenomenal. Love it.
Awesome.
But my main question is this. So it's kind of a little bit of a piggyback off of the 4-day-a-week program. I personally love that piece of it. What was if you could put it into a perfect world, which I know doesn't exist, but if your thought process, are you thinking 4 days a week and then call it good? Or were you really, because I know there was a lot of advertising of talking about you can fit in yoga, or you can fit this in with your marathon training, or you're a triathlete, or what's your thoughts on how this program fits best? Typically 4 days a week, or fit it into the other pieces of the puzzle? And if that's the case, 2 days a week, sub out a cardio, what would be your best advice?
Yeah, great question. Number one, awesome to know that. Thanks you for recognizing all the form and cueing and techniques. And that's exactly why I fought really hard to not do these workouts in the video. It was a new concept, and because it hasn't been done in a long time. I mean, I think Tony did in 22 hardcore, but this one's so technical. And I really want this to feel like a personal training session. I think there's a lot of value in that as well when you're talking to people. This isn't work. These aren't, Live 4 is not just 32 workout videos. It's 32 personal training sessions. That's how I feel. We shot it that way, and I think we did pretty good on that. But yeah, the design itself is, we went back and forth a couple times. We were in the original meetings and design of this, went back and forth between 4 to 5 days. And, the reason we started up, we set on the 4, and why I was so happy with it was for a lot of things that you just said. One, because every time a program comes out, we went through this with quarter force, and I see every time a program comes out since, and before that too, people always like, well, how can I do this and still do these things that I like to do? Quarter force was a challenge. When people were saying, hey, I want to do quarter force, but I'm also training for a marathon. How can I do both? And we're like, and you kind of had to stutter around the question, and because you want them to obviously commit to the program, but you also don't want to be responsible for their overtraining. So that was another thing, again, of going back to the barriers of why people cannot stick with something in terms of a program, is because there's other things that they like to do, and that's what's kind of fun about weightlifting. Weightlifting is like the basis. It's like the base of when it comes to the workout world. This is how I used to teach new personal trainers and fitness consultants on the basic elements of fitness. If you oversimplify this, by the way, this is super oversimplified, but for the majority of the population to understand, you just think of a triangle and cut into 3 sections. On the base of it, you have your resistance training. You have to do weight training at least 3 to 4 days a week. Then you go 2 days of cardio, then you can do a day of stretch recovery. That's your 7 days. So that's really where this came from. That was that's how I oversimplify fitness for people, like Fitness 101, and then say, look, now if you can get at least 3 to 4 days of weight training, then the sky's the limit. You can do that, frees you up to do whatever else you want to do. You don't have to do 6 days of weight training. You can choose to if you want, but that's not the majority of the population. We're not talking about the 20% of the population that are working out. I'm going after the 80% of the population that still have all these excuses to why they can't do it. So that's really where all this thought process went into, of the design of this, and how we came on the 4 days. Cool, thumbs up. All right. Let's see, I think there was another one from Emily. Emily's curious, being in the health industry for so many years before Beachbody, what drew me to Beachbody and the products? And I feel men especially have a preconceived notion that Beachbody products are not going to do anything for them. Okay, so what drew me to Beachbody? So I was all over the place in the health and fitness world, and just, right place at the right time, and just had, a lot of success on the business side of it. And 2011, early 2011, I was living up in the Seattle area. I had been up there for 8 years, worked for the Washington State Department of Health for 4, and was ready to get back down to LA. I'm originally from here. I needed the sunshine. So I took a job in late 2011, moved back down here, and was working for Gold's Gym, the Southern California franchise, and was their Group X director for a few years. And then they actually brought me up to be their marketing director. So I had a career. I was very happy as a marketing director. That was a really fun thing, especially, early 30s, marketing director for Gold's Gym. Not too shabby of a job. So I was really happy with that. But what always bothered me about the gym world was my geographic isolation. And, meaning that is like I could only get the people within so many mile radius of the gyms, and that was a problem. So I was like, man, it'd be cool if we could get out there more and get more things going. And this was really before the digital, streaming services took off or anything like that. So we're talking about, 6-7 years ago at this point, right? It was right on the cusp. And it was, I had been introduced to Beachbody when I was working with Les Mills. We did Les Mills Pump. So if you have to be a coach that's been around for a while to know that, because the products aren't available anymore. But that was my first introduction to Beachbody. Then when I came to Gold's Gym, even though the Les Mills Beachbody partnership dissolved, I was still helping Beachbody Live department develop and implement P90X Live. So we trialed it at some of my Gold's gyms. So I was involved at the very beginning. So I was always kind of in the office off and on, and just always seeing Carl and everybody. And then finally, not randomly, but I was always like kind of joking around, like, hey, when are we going to do something? Let's do something fun. Let's do a program, blah, blah, blah. And then I wasn't expecting anything. And then one day I just got a call, and it was Carl. And he's like, hey, what do you think about coming over? We got a gap in the library. This was the very first beginning talks of Core to Force, like 2 years before we actually did it. And said, what the hell? Let's try it. I can always go back to the business world, but what I love about Beachbody and what draws me to Beachbody, super long answer to your question, Emily, is the fact that there is no geographic isolation anymore with this. We can reach in everyone, and yes, I know, certain aspects of it right now, Beachbody On Demand is not available in, some, particular countries, but okay, cool. We got Canada, we got the UK, we got Puerto Rico, we got, I'm sure we're going to be expanding soon as well. So like, we got a lot out there, and that just opens it up to so many more people. And so I love that. I love that we are actually the only company, I truly believe this, the only company that has the ultimate answer in every form or fashion, from the nutrition standpoint, from the supplementation standpoint, and from the program standpoint. We've got it. And from the food standpoint, because now we've got 2B mindset and all the different portion fixes. So, and Fixate, like with like the ultimate, like you talk about a full tool belt of everything. We've got that. So that's why I love, why I really got into it, and where I was fully behind this 100%. And I think it's great. The preconceived notion, yes, that's out there. We are Beachbody is a network marketing company that markets fitness, health and fitness products. That's the reality of it. And people are always going to have preconceived notions about it until they either find out for themselves, or you help them understand that there is some value in it. And I think it's the best time ever to be working with a network marketing company, because right now the popular thing is entrepreneurship and working from home and not being in an office anymore. So like that, like it's cool again, to not be in an office. So I think it's a really good time to get people to try it out and try the programs out. And that's where your guarantees, your 30-day money back guarantee, you can drink the entire bag of Shakeology and send back the empty bag. Like you have all of these guarantees that you can use, and you just want to make sure that you're using those. So, but yeah, men are also stubborn. I think I said that, and it's just going to be a challenge. But here's the thing too with that, men and women, because I do get this question a lot too. Is like, well, how do you convince someone who's in a gym, that works out at a gym that that they can do home workouts? I don't. I'm not interested. I'm not going to talk to somebody who's already working out. Like, I'm not going to waste my time. If they're happy with their workouts and they're going to the gym, great. Godspeed. Have fun. I'm going after those 80%. I'm going after those people that aren't working out. So I know it feels like that's the shallow pool to go after of the people who are working out, but that's an uphill battle, because now what you're trying to do is convince them that your product is better. That's not fun to do. It's not about trying to prove your product is better, even though it is. It's trying to show people how your products are going to help them. That's the biggest thing. And if you can show them that, there's the value in it, and then it's a no-brainer from that point on.
I think you just kind of answered the next question in the chat. What do you think is the best way to market a program?
Yeah, very much what I said. But it also depends on the program. And this is, I did a call last night, and they were asking me, what's like my one piece of advice to, like, when you're talking to people as a coach. And my number one piece of advice is to shut up and listen. to what they're saying and really understand what they're saying. Not just like, oh, okay, they want to work out. Yeah, okay, cool. We all want to work out. We all want to lose weight. We all want to look good naked. Duh. But what is it they're saying? And like, what is it that has prevented them, number one, prevented them from getting to that part in the past? And then what's not working? Like every time somebody new comes into this, I used to train new people. Every time someone walks into the gym or when they start talking to you, that means something's not working in their life, whatever it may be. And they may not even know what it is yet. They may or they may not. So your job is to, number one, listen and help understand what is not working for them, because then you can help fill in the gaps. And so I'm talking about like knowing what time they go to bed, how do they sleep at night, what time do they wake up? Like you need to become an expert on these people. And that is truly how you will be able to then start piecing in. Because if you're an expert on them, and you should already be an expert on our products, doesn't mean you have to know everything about them. You just have to know where to find all the information about it. But then you can start piecing it in. So if you know that that person's number one thing right now, they just need to lose a few pounds. They're really overweight. They need to lose a few pounds just to start feeling better about themselves. Okay, I'm not going to get them started on a workout program and Shakeology and Beachbody Performance and this and that. It's too much. I'm going to say, look, I tell you what, let's just get one meal replacement a day with your Shakeology just for 2 weeks. Like, let's just do this, or let's just start piecing it together as opposed to throwing everything at them, right off the bat. So, but it really comes down to listening and then understanding what they want. It was like, someone comes in and they say, fitness kind of scares me. Well, cool. Do you like to dance? Yeah, I like to dance. All right, you should try size or country heat. Like understanding what their likes are. If you came to me, or if I was one of your clients and you're like, would you like to dance? I'm like, yeah, only when I'm drunk on tequila. Then don't tell me to do country heat, because it's not going to work for me. So it's really understanding who you're talking to and who your audience is. And then that's going to help you really figure out, okay, this is it for you. And then you're confident in it, and people know if you're confident or if you're just trying to sell them some bullshit. People that's a sales tactic. And that's why we all, if there's any used cars with sales, sorry, but that's why with, car salesmen, that's why they have this stigma behind them, because they're just trying to get you in something. It may not be what you want. They're just trying to get you in it. And that's, from the sales aspect of it, it really is being confident in what you're talking about and knowing that, man, Joel, this is what I got for you. You said you really like to do MMA stuff, or you like fighting. Cool. Try quarter force. I bet you're going to love it. That right there also makes them feel like you're actually listening. You actually give a shit about them, which is important in this industry. Any more questions? Oh, wait, let me see. Let's see. Someone had a question.
I think my mic is a little low, and I don't know what's wrong with it, so I'll just have to talk really loud. Nothing to do with Livermore specifically, but if you were a coach and you had a challenger who was just like crushing it, getting results, showing up every day, regardless of what program they were doing, how would you approach them about coaching?
How would I approach them about coaching? I think it depends on where they are in their journey. If you're talking about, they just so say they just signed up, for instance, they're doing Lift 4, or they're whatever program they're doing, they're seeing great results. That's great. And it also is something that, when you start seeing results, and then you start seeing the value in it, right? They're like, oh, okay, this actually works for me. I think maybe you could go down that path of, as a discount coach to start, and going down and just saying, hey, look, this is obviously working for you. Okay, you really like the Shakeology. I'd love to get you on this. This is how you can get a discount on it. People love discounts, right? People love percentages off. People love this stuff. So talk to them about that because think of it and put yourself in their shoes of when you were first asked to be a coach. Most people, the first time you were asked, you didn't just be like, hey, cool, I'll do it. That is not normally the case. It usually, took some convincing. There was usually a hell no at the beginning of that, and it took a while for you to really kind of see. And then, it's very easy for us to forget that. It can be scary, and you have preconceived notions too. So I think you can kind of go down that path of talking about a discount coach. You can say, hey, look, is this something? Have you ever thought about doing this? Making some money, just start asking questions, and again, it comes back to listening and, no doesn't always mean no. It just may mean not right now. I mean, that's how I went about it in my dating life for a long time. No meant not right now. So I'm like, cool, I'll come back to you later. It worked out pretty well because I got Brienne 3 years later. So it was, it took some time, it took some effort, but by God, it works. So I would just listen to them and understand that it may not be the right time. And then if that's the case, like, okay, cool, no problem. And just keep going. Like, don't push it, because then you start becoming a pushy salesperson, and that's how you're going to lose people. So just like, okay, cool. All right, just thought I'd ask. Cool. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you again in a few months. And just give them the heads up.
Awesome. Random Joel fun fact, please.
Random Joel fun fact. You guys already, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know like everything about me. I don't really hold back much. Random Joel fun fact. I am a huge James Bond junkie. I can't turn my laptop, but I just looked over and I saw it. I've got a autographed James Bond portrait in my office that I bid way too much money on, but it was a charity auction, so it was all tax deductible, so that was cool. But it's signed by every James Bond ever, and it's pretty amazing. So yeah, like I just heard that Daniel Craig's coming back and doing one more James Bond, so I'm super excited. Yeah. And Becky, which James Bond is my favorite? Look, Sean Connery is the OG, man. Like he started this. He started the world of 007, and he is the ultimate gentleman at that point. But I love what Daniel Craig's done with it. I love what they've taken the franchise this last go around with him. And but at the same time, back in the early 2000s, when Pierce Brosnan was doing it, because like that matched the era. I liked all of them, but I think Sean Connery and Daniel Craig are my two top. There's the random fact.
Do we have any more questions? Anybody?
I love how coaches, every time I get on a coach call, like y'all get shy. Like you're so full of crap. Like none of you are shy, and you all are going to message me on Instagram later. Like, why not just ask me now?
Hey Joel, I have a Lift 4 specific question.
Okay.
So I've done 2.5 rounds of Lift 4, and I do love it, especially coming off of 80-day obsession where you're working out for an hour like every day. But I think specifically as you went through with you being a guy, you would say, well, for me, I'd lift 35, 50 pounds, and it wasn't as specific for women.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of guesstimating about where I would be and adjusting accordingly. But there were times I got to burnout, and I don't know if I just went way super hard. I mean, it wasn't where I was hurting myself, but like I literally couldn't even get myself up for a tricep push-up because they were just gone. Is that okay? Or should you be kind of more middle road, like during the reps, and then be able to go? I mean, obviously I know burnout is to burn out, but what if you are burnt out by the time you get there?
So number one, I know in the videos I'm saying what my weight is just as a comparative from comparative purposes, but it's also like I talk nonstop about how you should be feeling during the reps. So, and then also like I know we filmed it, but probably 98% of everyone who started Lift 4 skipped the video of the how to Lift 4 vid. That video, I walk you through exactly how to select your weight in terms of how you should be feeling. And it's all about, and I say in the videos too all the time, like, if you can do, by the time you get to the 8th rep, you should be like really happy you only have 2 left. And if you finish your 10 reps, your 3 sets of 10, and you're like, wow, you know what, I could have done a little bit more, or you feel like you could do 12 to 14 reps, then yeah, it's time to amp up your weight a little bit. So it's because it is all about you, and everyone's different. Even in the workout videos, my cast and my team, they were lifting different weights, and it was also very dependent on how they were feeling that day, just because we were shooting, so many workouts back to back. So there was that's why I was really adamant about how you should be feeling during these workouts. But yeah, when it comes to the burnout, look, if you can't pick yourself up off the ground, well done. That's exactly the idea, is to get to the point for absolute muscular failure and just be done with it. Now, if you feel like you did the weightlifting portion, especially on the circuit, because here's the thing too, a quick caveat to the burnouts. We only do burnouts we only do burnouts in circuit. And circuit is already brutal because it's quad sets. You have 4 exercises back to back. You're doing 40 reps 3 times through, 2 blocks of work, and then burnout. Like, it's meant to suck. It really is. And that's why we don't have it on anything else on that, because it's just brutal. So yeah, don't get frustrated with that. If you can't pick yourself off the ground because your muscles are done, cool. That means we did it right.
Awesome. Thanks.
Absolutely. Good job. I like it. I thought I saw, let's see. Do you see yourself, oh, Becky's asking me, do you see yourself doing Jericho's new workout coming out this summer? I don't know. Maybe some of them. I don't know if I'll be able to commit to the whole 100 days. But I did, when she was in product design and development, I went and worked out with her a couple of times and did some of the workouts, and they're great. I think the workouts are great. So, I don't typically do other programs like, the lift formation thing is a little bit new and different for me. It's not in my wheelhouse, which is why I was kind of excited to do it and said, screw it, let's try it. And I have hated every single day on that blasted step. I really do. Like, you guys, I'm not a stepper. I'm a boxer. Like that, I'm a boxer and I hit. Like, those are my two forms of cardio. Like, I don't like to do anything else. So it's definitely out of my comfort zone, but I was totally okay with trying it. Betsy, what's my biggest surprise doing Transform 20? Nothing has surprised me, because I just was like, it's going to be insanity on a step. Is pretty much what I decided going into it, and knew that it would only, I was trying to set the bar really high. So then I'd be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I'm like, son of a bitch, that sucked. So but it's been fun, and we've had a really good time doing it. And so we'll see if I ever do anything of his again. Probably not, because I don't like it. Oh wait, Jennifer, do we shoot multiple workouts a day? Yeah. So when we did Lift 4, it's like a kind of a fun fact about Lift 4 that not a lot of people know. We shot every workout real time, which meant we did not cut ever, which you should know by the stupid shit that I say in the workouts, because, and you could usually tell what we were shooting, like what was the last workout of the day, because words just stopped making sense. Like, I was talking nonstop, obviously. But yeah, we shot a minimum of 3 workouts a day. Some days we shot 4 because we had 10 days to film that entire program from start to finish. Just because it was, we were kind of backed up against a timeline at Dallas. She had to shoot before us. So, cause she was pregnant. So she had to get her stuff done. And then I was up against my heart out to go to Success Club to talk about. So it was just, we had literally had 10 days, and I had a super weekend in between those filming days. So it was nonstop, man. So that's why, again, there's one of many reasons why we also rotated the cast through. That's why you didn't see the cast every single day in the same workouts. Plus, I was really excited to just make everything different. I didn't want like the same faces every single workout. And that's why I moved the picture of Kobe around every single workout, try to find the picture of Kobe and I in there, just to change shit up and make things different. And, also those little head scratchers, whereas, if you do these work, because obviously I was hoping people would do multiple rounds of this program where, you're in your 3rd or 4th round, you're like, oh wait, I didn't notice that before. So that was kind of what we were trying to do with it, and change it up a little bit. Sheridan, are resistance bands just as good as dumbbells? Are they just as good? No, they're not just as good. But in the resistance band, the bandifier option in Lift 4 is it's not meant to replace the dumbbells permanently. It's meant to be a secondary option for like traveling, because the resistance bands travel a lot easier than all your dumbbells. And also if you're really squeezed for space and you can't have a full selection of dumbbells at home. But I definitely would love to have, I definitely tell people to try to do the dumbbells if you can. And then also if you do multiple rounds, because some people say, well, weights are expensive. I understand that dumbbells are expensive. And also if it's a space thing, to where I say, if you've done a few rounds of Lift 4 and you know what you're doing by now, which you should, don't be afraid to look into a gym membership. Seriously, because the gym has all the dumbbells for you, and there's nothing wrong with going in and streaming your workout. Most gyms, like, you find a corner and you do it. Like, that's very popular right now, streaming your workouts. Or you just listen to it. You just, have the sultry sounds of my voice in your head. Whatever works for you. But I think you can try keeping with the dumbbells, because that's really how you're going to challenge yourself and challenge your muscles. But if you have to use resistance bands, then that's still better than nothing. I think that's all the questions. Did I get all of them? Yeah, I did. Cool.
I have a quick question for you.
Yep.
Well, I actually have 2 questions.
Okay.
Who in their right mind came up with lift formation to begin with? Like, seriously.
Okay. So I guess I get the blame for it. So the original idea was just it was mutual. We were both like, we got to do something together. Like this was when when Sean was in town for a few months filming Transform 20. You know, he and the family were here. They rented a house down the street from where we were living at the time, my wife and I. So we just saw each other more. And I've known Sean for a long time, but we never had really gotten to hang out, except for Summit for a photo op, and that was it. So this was the first time we had really got to hang out. And we had mutual friends, obviously, so we were like legit like hung out for hours and did events together and like just outings and things like that. And we realized that we are just as crazy as the other, and really started to kindle our bromance at that point. And I love him to death. I love his family, and vice versa. And so when he was filming Transform 20, I'm like, look, bro, because I was already starting to work on my Lift 4 hybrid calendars and doing diet bets and things like that. So I'm like, look, bro, when you get like launch your shit, and then when you're done, like let's do something together. I think these two programs would be very complementary, because I knew that I could just take out the hit from Lift 4 and put the Transform 20 workouts into it. And I knew that would be pretty seamless. And so that's what we did. It's hard. Yeah. So I guess I get a little bit of blame on that one, but it's
well,
still-
my first didn't take out the hit in any of your videos, and I did Transform 20 and I died.
Yeah, I would.
Second week I took it out. However, my second question to you is, I am on, so the lift formation, this is my 4th round of Lift 4. Lift 4 has been my go-to program. I love it just because I love HIIT. But as far as weights go for a woman, I'll go up in weight and I'll take weeks off in between the program and everything. But I don't want to go up too far in weight, because I do know I will start to bulk up the heavier the weights get. So how heavy should I go? And do you have a program, after my 6th or 7th time of doing Lift 4, do you have a program recommendation in between there for me to kind of transition? And a lot of people that I know do Lift 4 as well, and they keep going back to it. It's not necessarily something that once we get to, I'm up to like 25 and 30 pounds already on some of my exercises, to the point where I don't want to go any higher.
Okay. Well, number one, muscle doesn't bulk. It grows or it shrinks. That's pretty much the reality of it. So it's a terminology thing. I get it. And that's the mentality that most women have. And it's what the industry, everyone uses, to bulk up and stuff. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it, but I get it. And so, muscle grows or shrinks. And when, with what you're saying, okay, like if I keep, I'm going to gain more muscle, I'm going to feel bulky. Well, that also comes with needing to increase your fat loss, right? And that's really what we're going for with Lift 4. Lift 4 is not a weight loss program; it's a weight lifting program, and we're working to change your body composition. That's the idea here. I'm not going for weight loss. Like Core to Force, for instance, is a 30-day shredding program where we're going to get you as shredded as possible. We're basically trying to make you lose as much weight as possible in body fat in these 30 days. Lift 4 is an 8-week body transformation program, is really how I talk about it. And I suggest you guys talk about it that way too, as a body transformation program, because when you start weightlifting, when you start adding weights into your world, it changes you. And like we're going for a change in body density, because yes, we've all heard muscle weighs more than fat, which, okay, we know a pound is a pound, but it's the density of what we're doing, right? 5 pounds of fat looks like this, 5 pounds of muscle looks like this. So that's where we're really going into it with Lift 4. And what I say to that is, like, if you start to feel that you're getting to that point where you're going to get bulky or you're bulking up, then you need to, like, what's the easiest way? Don't blame the weights. Let me say it bluntly. Don't blame the weights. It's not the weights that's doing that. That means you need to tweak your nutrition and focus more on that. If you want that break in between the Lift 4, if you do 8 weeks and you want to take a break, then I definitely suggest doing something like Core to Force, because again, it's a 30-day shredding program, but understand that you will lose some muscle mass in doing that. And, that's why I always like, a lot of the hybrid calendars I've put together so far have been those 4 days of Lift 4 and then 2 or 3 days of doing Core to Force. But I don't believe that you're going to get because you don't have the right set of hormones to get bulky, ladies. Like, it just doesn't happen. You have the testosterone of like a 5-year-old boy in you. So it takes testosterone levels and all these other things. So until your voice starts getting as deep as mine and you have facial hair, I really wouldn't worry about it. Or this much facial hair, I wouldn't worry about it. So it just comes down to, I wouldn't blame the weights. I would really focus maybe more on your nutrition and understanding like what your macros are looking like. You know, the basic macros, which is Lift 4 nutrition plan. It's page 2 of the nutrition plan. It tells you what those macros are, and maybe start tracking those. You know, if you're doing one thing that hasn't necessarily worked, then start, might want to change it up and look at one of our other solutions in Beachbody in terms of ultimate portion fit to be mindset, or look at just straight tracking your macros, which, we talk about in Lift 4 as well. So, but I wouldn't be scared of the weights, because the more muscle you have, the more we're increasing your resting metabolic rate. So you're actually going to burn more calories. You become a calorie burning machine, and the more muscle you have on your body, which is a good thing. We don't want to lose that. I hope that helps.
It does. And actually it helps explain it to others too, because I think as a coach, when we're explaining Lift 4, for me, it's a program I love. I will push Lift 4 through and through. But for others, like you said, they don't want to do the weights. They're afraid of weights. And I've talked to several women that they're like, I don't want to do weights. All I want is cardio. I want cardio, cardio, cardio. And I'm like, but you need weights as well.
Yeah, look, and you can only go so far in trying to convince somebody what they need. That's where it goes into, I'd be like, look, I tell you what, why don't you just do a week of it? I challenge you to do a week if it's only 4 days. What's the worst? Do 2 weeks, and see what you can do. But look, I can talk science until I'm blue in the face about what muscle will do in terms of benefits in long-term and weight loss and osteoporosis prevention and all these different things. But look, again, people are stubborn, and what they see online and what they, social media, obviously, it actually doesn't help us more than anything nowadays, because they just see, the cardio queens out there, and it's like, that's fine. And, but I think at some point they'll also start to see how they're yo-yoing. The minute you finish a program, like, yeah, cool, you lost a bunch of weight, but the minute you stop, you start gaining the weight back. So that body composition change is how you can prevent that and how you can continue with it. That's why, for me personally, I focus on continuing on a weekly basis to weight train at least a minimum of 4 days a week. And on top of everything else, whatever else I'm doing, I'm going to always keep my weights going for 3 to 4, minimum 3 if I'm working on something different, but at least 4 days a week, if not 5, because that is how I'm going to keep going long term. And I'll continue to increase my strength, but I also reach I think everyone reaches a threshold that works for themselves and their body. And so with that said too, Emily, what you're talking about is like, you can reach a threshold where you're not increasing anymore as long as you're still feeling challenged. I hope that makes sense. So you don't have to, like I talk about in the videos, yeah, I'm always talking about increasing your weight in the workout videos, but the reason why I talk about it so much, especially in the first couple of weeks, is because I knew coming into this that most people were not going to start with the weights they actually should have started with, because they were coming out of 80-day obsession. They were coming out, and most people who are working out home program, think about the dumbbells that most people have at home. They're like, between 3 and 10 pounds. So, which my shoes weigh that much. So I knew coming into this that people were going to start lighter than they should, which is why most people see such a crazy increase the first 8 weeks they do the program. Then I get messages like, how come I'm not increasing anymore? Because like now your muscles are finally going, oh, okay, now we're working. So there's a lot that went into that aspect of it, but you can reach a threshold and still feel challenged. You don't have to keep increasing your weight, but just don't be afraid to keep lifting heavy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I think, did I get that? Okay. From Becky. Okay. So when I think of workouts, I'm thinking form is the most important before weights or reps. Absolutely true. But when it comes to nutrition, what would you consider the most important? I've seen so much about macros, calories, consumed, portion set. What's the most important? Personal preference. I like to keep things very simple, even when it comes to workouts and when it comes to nutrition. I think I don't think it's as complicated as people make it. And so when it comes to nutrition, it's exactly how the Lift 4 nutrition plan is. I just cut the shit for 6 days. Like, if you do that, you will see amazing results. It really is true. I honestly believe that if you just cut the crap for 6 days, give yourself a day to, enjoy yourself. You call it whatever you want, cheat day, free day, whatever, to, have your date night and have those things like, that keeps my sanity. Like it allows me to continue to do that stuff. So I think keeping it simple is important. And that's just me. That's just me personally. And then macros, I think for the majority of the population, if you can't get them, if they're not going to get on a nutrition program like 2B Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix or Portion Control, whatever it is, then just get them tracking their macros, you guys. Like it's on an app. You got MyFitnessPal, you have Lose It, those macros, and then they kind of start to see how easy it is. It's not as complicated as everybody thinks, and then they don't have to think about their carbs, their fats, their proteins, because it's an app that does it for them, and I think that's huge. So, and we have the basic calculations in the Live 4 nutrition plan, and you can use those to just kind of get a total caloric intake. That's my daily intake, and then you can start to break it down. So I think my most important tip is to try to keep it as simple as possible. If you have someone that works 60, 70, 80 hours a week, asking them to really get into the nitty gritty, made of, whether it be containers or 2B, I don't know, it depends on their personal situation, may not be the best idea. If you make it super complicated or hard for them where it creates stress and creates more of a, oh shit, I didn't do it, then they're going to quit because they're like, I can't do it, it's too much. So it really comes down to, again, I think keeping it simple, and make it to where it doesn't scare them to fail on this, because no one ever starts this stuff with the intention of not being able to do it, but life gets in the way. Ultimate Portion Fix, 2B Mindset, all these different things, that's stagnant. That's not going anywhere, but our lives change on a daily basis. So that's why with Live 4, for instance, I was so excited about this program, because I knew that this was going to be a program that was going to flow with your life. You miss on Monday, no problem. You do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You miss Tuesday, no problem. You do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have 3 days to miss completely every single week in this program, and you can still get it done. And I think if we kind of start treating our nutrition the same mentality and giving ourselves a break and not depriving ourselves, I think it's going to be, that's how I live. So I think people will be able to relax a little bit. Again, super long answers to your questions. Sorry. Anything else? I can't hear you, Beth.
I think something's wrong with my
there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I don't see any more questions in the chat, so unless anybody else has anything. Okay, cool. Well, I have this recorded, so I'll post it in all the team pages, but Becky, I'm not sure if we're connected on social media, but I will send you the link to it for the rest of your team if you just reach out to me. Otherwise, Joel, thank you so much. This was so awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. And what was I going to do? Oh, like my shameless plugs, Joel Freeman Fitness on Instagram and Facebook. If you're not following me, shame on you. And because if you're a coach, especially like you guys, my audience, like I know my audience, and my audience are coaches. Like everything that I talk about and this stuff is for you, because you're the ones that are going out and really able to disseminate the information to your people. So my job is to try to get you as much information as possible and motivation and whatnot. Steal my shit, like steal my posts, whatever helps. Steal the information. It's all good. Just maybe tell them to follow me too. And then hopefully most of you guys are doing Live4mation. We've had a lot of fun. We're in week 3. And if you're in that Facebook group, I'm going to fly out to Arizona on Friday. We're going to do a live workout, so that's going to be fun. And then May 6th, my May 6th diet bet game starts. So if you haven't done that before, you should. It's not all about weight loss. I know that's typically what diet bets are all about, the 4% body weight. But I want to include everybody. So I brought in thousands, like I went and bought like a shit ton of prizes, like iPads and all this stuff to give away just for participating. So it legit is for everybody. Plus there'll be new workout calendars, which I think in itself makes it worth it. So dietbet.com/me, Joel, and do it. It'd be fun. And that's it. And hopefully I see everybody at Summit. All of you. Okay. All of you. Okay. All right. I think my workout's Friday morning, so y'all should sign up. It'd be fun. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.